Hello, good afternoon. My name is Yasmin Sanchez-Wheeler and I am from CAO Cúcuta. Today, I want to present my research proposal. The sub-project for my research proposal is The Voices of the LLEI Realities, Life Stories and Experiences. Also, the title for my study is A Non-Native English as a Foreign Language Teacher and Her Struggle with a Colombian University Lack of Proper English Proficiency Training. My study is going to be conducted in the city of Cúcuta, Norte de Santander. As for my research statement, along my professional experience, my personal experience studying and teaching English as a second and also as a foreign language, there have been numerous life stories that I have found that have served as inspiration and motivation for me. However, there have also been some life stories and narratives that arouse a deep level of interest because of the difficulties and hurdles that the participants have encountered throughout their life experience as English language students, in their vocational and professional training, and also subsequently as their experience as teachers as a foreign language here in Colombia. For this reason, the study of the English language and its contexts, along with the achieving of a characterization and understanding of the experiences and the phenomena in the non-native English as a foreign language teachers in the Colombian educational context, is my micro-project and what orientates the field of my study. That is, investigating and analyzing the testimonials and experiences of other Colombian English as a foreign language teachers in order to find out a common narrative phenomena issues, such as their lack of proper English language training during their university studies in order to be ready to teach. Also, the possible solutions to numerous foreign language in English communicative issues encountered during their professional training experience in the LLEI. During my pre-service school observations required by my research methodology and also my curriculum classes at university, I had the opportunity to meet with several of the English teachers at the assigned Club de Leones public school here in the city of Cúcuta. However, after listening to all of them talk about their years of experience as teachers, I heard some comments of complaint and sort of regret from Ms. Luz Marina, who is the participant of my study and who is also a non-native English teacher as a foreign language at this official educational institution. Some of her complaints were about the lack of proper training in the English language during her university studies. As she said on her own words, how was I going to teach English as a foreign language without having acquired sufficient domain of this target language during my professional training? This was one of the questions that Ms. Luz Marina mentioned during our, colloquial conversation and that really caught my attention and my interest. After having talked to her during my non-participant observations and during the assigned interviews, I found out more in detail about her personal experiences and with the English language, both during her own language learning process without ever having an international English experience, the same way it happens to many other Colombian students that want to become English teachers, and also during Luz Marina's participation as a foreign language professional here in Colombia. Ms. Luz Marina experienced some considerable challenges during her local university preparation for this teaching career that put her in the difficult situation of having to go out on her own to find outside of her university context the much needed academic and practical professional additional training in order to perform as a qualified professional in the teaching English language as teacher in the region of Cúcuta. The particular situation was, as she mentioned during the interview, that Ms. Luz Marina did not receive proper training and professional preparation for being able to speak English, much less being able to teach it. This is why Investigating the realities in the context of her personal situation defines my research subproject. The teacher's narrative as a phenomenon, her story told in her own voice, the way these circumstances affected her life and the implications these issues might have had in her teaching, encourages me to find out more of her story and the outcomes of her work as an English as a foreign language educator here in Colombia. Therefore, my research idea focuses on the story of this teacher since I want to study through narrative inquiry her testimonies and her English learning and teaching experiences. This interest is linked to the study of the English language as a macro project and the voices of the LLEI realities as my chosen sub-project. All this evidence needs identified, all this evidence and needs are identified in the investigation context, leads me to the following research question. How does the English learning experience, professional training, and teaching history as a non-native foreign language educator defines the needs and challenges and Ms. Luz Marina's own positioning as an English teacher in the region of Cúcuta, Colombia? Therefore, hoping to find out if Ms. Luz Marina's story is similar and can be related to the stories of many other non-native English teachers as a foreign language in Colombia serves as my objective for understanding the everyday realities of the non-native English teachers in our country. Continuing for my macro project and sub-project. According to the course of action that my research project has taken so far, the investigation that I am carrying out corresponds to the research field number 2, the study of the English language and its contexts. The investigation is framed by the research macro project number 2, which requires no direct intervention in the English classroom, yet it is about understanding and characterizing the EFL in the LLEI, the experiences and the phenomena in the pre-service teachers' educational contexts. In regards to the research sub-project number 3, which is the one leading the course of my investigation, finding out the voices of the LLEI, the realities, the participants' life story, and the personal experiences are my motivation for exploring. Learning and sharing about the social, the cultural, and the individual experiences which can help outline the real purpose of teaching for each one of us. Myself, the teacher researcher, and also for the public school teacher who is the participant of my study, Ms. Luz Marina. Once again, the problem of my research study. How does the English learning experience, professional preparation, and teaching history as a non-native foreign language educator define the needs, challenges, and Ms. Luz Marina's own positioning as an English teacher in the region of Cúcuta, Colombia? Retaking on my objective, hoping to find out if Ms. Luz Marina's story is similar and can relate to the stories of many other non-native teachers as English as a foreign language in Colombia, serves as my objective, as I already mentioned, for understanding the everyday realities of the non-native English teachers in Colombia. In order to do this, I will use narrative inquiry and apply some of the most common investigative instruments for qualitative research, such as observation and the interview. However, I can also use other instruments such as field text and autobiography story, journals, field notes, letters, testimonials, photographs, videos, and my own life experiences to help understand how the participant in my investigation tells her story. In this case, Ms. Luz Marina's story. As for the justification of my proposal, my topic is worth being researched because investigating and finding out the specific details of this study's participant, her learning English process, and the development of her career as a professional English language educator in the city of Cúcuta, Colombia, will help corroborate the notion of the considerable lack of proper academic and professional training in the part of the local universities towards the Colombian pre-service teachers coursing the LLEI, which was the particular case of this study's participant. Also, as well as evidencing as a good example to follow the willingness and a strong desire from the participant, Ms. Luz Marina, to overcome these challenges and prevail over the lack of enough English language exposure into a well-prepared and capable LLEI professional. To conclude this presentation, why would my investigation be beneficial? In this, it is important for me to investigate in depth what Ms. Luz Marina had to do in order to cope with her personal career difficulties, and the ways she found out to improve herself professionally in order to do a better job as an educator. Considering that her story serves as an example of a real testimony suggesting that fundamental improvement in both the local universities that prepare the future professional educators and also on the part of the pre-service teacher who needs to be sincere and honest with himself or herself in the sense of procuring the best possible English language acquisition in order to feel confident with the foreign language and as a final product to provide a high English quality education into the Colombian context for the Colombian students at schools. As mentioned above, this is a narrative research project linked to the voices of the LLEI realities, done with the intention to provide light on the story of a non-native English teacher in Colombia whose story may not seem as interesting at first look. However, this teacher's story actually turns out to be quite interesting because it not only tells her personal experiences, but also sheds some light on a deeper issue embedded in the professional training in some Colombian university that is provided to the pre-service students. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for your attention, and this has been a presentation for my Action Research class. Thank you, Teacher Manuel, for your attention. I really appreciate it, and bye-bye from Cucuta. Thank you.